Hare Krishna. So we'll begin our shloka recitation with our respectful obeisances to the wonderful deities of Shri Shri Jagannath Mandir, ISKCON Shri Shadipur, Baldeva Prabhu ki jai, Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Lord Jagannatha ki jai, Shri Panch Tattva ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Lord Parshurama ki jai, Lord Vaman Dev ki jai, Shri Guru Parampara ki jai, Lord Path ki jai, Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai. We'll say our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Okay, so we have three shlokas today. 16.16, 17 and 18. अनेका चित्ता विभ्रांता मोहा जाला समावृता प्रसक्ता कामभोगेषु पतन्ति नरके असुचौ. Translation: Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. आत्मसंभावितः स्तब्धा धनामाना मदान्वितः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञस्ते दम्भेनाविधि पूर्वकम्. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded from wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations. अहंकारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं च संश्रितः माम आत्मा परादेहेषु प्रद्विषन्तो अभ्यासुयुकाः. Translation: Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. So, here, these three shlokas, they talk about this is about in reference to the demoniac people who are not God conscious or who are envious. So, it's talking about their qualities and their nature. So, yeah, okay. So here, Aneka Chitta Vibhranta. Here, Eka means one, Aneka means many. Chitta is consciousness, Vibhranta is perplexed. So His Grace, Sri Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gives wonderful explanations, part of his classes he takes. So here we use that detail. And so Prabhu says, why it is said that Chitta here is conscious and Vibhranta is perplexed. Why their Chitta is perplexed? Why is it like that? Because there are so many things for them to do. They are not focused on one. They are not focused on spirituality. They are focused on, they are involved in many material sense gratificatory activities. So their consciousness is pulled into so many directions. That is why the perplexion of consciousness. Moha jala samavrita. They are completely covered over. Moha jala, by network or trap of illusion. So it is not just one strand or one thing to attend to. It's a complete network which completely binds them or traps them is in its doings, in its activities. So samavrata, completely covered over. That is the soul. Their soul is completely covered over. One cannot perceive spirituality being under completely covered in illusion. It doesn't allow them to practice or perceive spirituality. Prasaktaha kama bhogeshu. Asaktaha is attached. Prasakta is very strongly attached. kama bhogeshu, because of desire for sense gratification. Patanti narake asuchau. Patanti, they glide down or fall down into hell, asachau, asuchau, unclean. So Prabhu also mentions that in human life, from very beginning to end, from childhood to old age, the material life or life itself, there's so many distractions in material life from beginning to end. From childhood, one is busy playing with toys, with friends, and later in youth, one is always busy, attracted towards opposite gender, and in old age, its anxiety is so great, and it doesn't allow them or leave them with any capacity to do anything. One cannot control one's body and also others. So that is how the difficulties are. This is how there are so many distractions in material life from beginning to end. So Param Brahma. So Prabhu gives an example of. So in this way, in every stage of life there is distraction. So material life doesn't allow us to practice spiritual activities in any stage of life. This is the challenge. We take on material body, it's pulling us into, attracting us into one direction, whereas spiritually, by nature, we are something else, somebody else. We are spiritual, and so that is why material world, material existence, material body, it's pulled into so many material activities, so many distractions are created. So material life doesn't allow us to practice spiritual activities at any stage of life. So I mean, but this we have to put aside all these distractions. We have to get over these distractions, and we cannot give an excuse like we will practice these activities at a later stage. We'll pursue spirituality at a later stage, and Prabhu mentions that this later stage, this will never come. So we have to have determination. We have to do it now only. Begin now only. Late is very late. Later is very late. So this is normal condition of material life. But in Kali Yuga, all the distractions are there so many times, multiplied. It's very difficult. So Atma Sambhavitaha, self-complacent, Stabdha, impudent. They don't care of any authority. Rather, they think themselves as the authority. Dhana Mana Madanvitaha, Dhana Mana, of wealth and false prestige. Mada, in the delusion, Anvitaha, absorbed. Madanvita, they are absorbed in the delusion of dhana, wealth, and mana, prestige. So this delusion covers them, their soul, and it takes them into another direction, binds them. Yajante nama yajgeste. Yajante, they perform sacrifice, nama, in name only. Yagne, with sacrifices. Dambhena vidhi purvakam. Dambhena, out of pride. Avidhi purvakam, without following any rules and regulations. Yajante, they may do some worship, but nama yajante, nama yagyeste, just for the sake of name, for name's sake only. Although it might seem, or you might see them doing worship, but that is just a formality. They're just doing for name's sake. They are not interested or involved in it. So there is a complete material motive behind this thing. Dambhena, it is filled with arrogance. Dambha, dambha, dambha means one doesn't have the inner substance but only shows off. And when they wanted to do this sort of things, they will do it, but they will do it avidhi purvakam. Avidhi purvakam. So they are not interested in spiritual advancement, and they don't believe that scriptures are the words of God. And that is why they don't care for vidhis, for processes, methods, regulations. It's so these spiritual activities are supposed to be done as per the scriptures, as per what is mentioned, how it is supposed to be done. But they would do it. If they do it, they would do it avidhi purvakam. They just want to do religious rituals, to be respected in society. So they'll do it avidipurvakam, not caring about the instructions or regulations of the scriptures. They'll just do it their own by their own whims and will. So scriptures tell us to do. Prabhu gives an example. So scripture tells us to do nam yajna, but they'll do yajna for nam only. So they completely lose their sense of purpose in life. So religion becomes not to uplift them or uplift their faith, but this is just for a face value, just for show off. So this is what they might seem to be doing it, but they are just doing it for completely ulterior motive, material intention. So they take renounce order because it will give them prestige in pious society. So Prabhu gives another example here. So some of these demonic people will take renounce order of life, but they will just do it for prestige, just to look like very pious personalities in society. So so by doing so, Prabhu says that they not only ruin themselves, but they are ruining the reputation of the renounced order of life, and they just live hypocritically. So that is brings a bad name to others who are doing it properly. So society might see that they are also one of them. So we have had many such cases in the past also where people were doing it for they ruin the reputation of renounced order of life. They completely do go against the uh, instructions of how the renounced order of life is supposed to be. So that is how it is. So ahankaram, balam, darpam, ahankaram, false ego, or arrogance. So the ungodly, the demoniac, they delight in brandishing their strength, the power. Um, they believe that physical or political power is the ultimate source of power, and they'll misuse that. They don't understand about the spiritual power or divine power, that there is something higher than all of these. There is something behind, something supreme, some super soul, some supreme personality who's controlling all this. And even the so-called people who in the material world are having any kind of power or opulence, they are also getting empowered by somebody superior, because of their pious activities they have done in the past life, or some desires which were fulfilled. So that is how it is. Um, Darpam is showing off. Kamam krodham cha samsritaha. Kama krodha. So Lord Krishna had mentioned this in 16 chapter, 16.12 also. So kamam, lust, krodham, anger, cha also samsrita, having taken shelter of these Kama Krodha. So samshrita, shrita means ashraya, to take shelter. So instead of taking shelter of Lord Krishna, they take shelter of material things, of all these negative things, negative emotions. So they take shelter of these things, material things. So their shelter is completely misdirected. Mam Atma para deheshu. Mam, me, Atma is their own, para in other deheshu bodies. So from here, in shlokas 18, 19, 20, Prabhu says that Lord Krishna uses the word mam, which means me, I. So it will come in shlokas 18, 19, 20. So Lord Krishna has talked about the qualities of divine and demoniac, but he has not talked about their relationship with him. So everybody has a relationship with Supreme because we are spirit soul. So we have a relationship with a completely spiritual person, Lord Krishna. So even we so, if in respect of divine qualities, he has not talked about bhakti as divine qualities, because qualities which are talked about here are material qualities. Abhijatasva Bharata. So, Srila Prabhupada called, he mentioned that these are transcendental qualities in shlokas 1, 2, and 3. This was in sense that these can help one move towards transcendence, or uplift them towards transcendental platform. So but divine and demoniac, they are are actually features of our material nature. So Jivatma is pure soul, is completely spiritual, and it has spiritual nature. It is completely spiritual by nature, and it is always such a Jivatma is always devoted to Lord Krishna. So a soul cannot be demoniac. So Krishna has talked about these qualities in terms of Varna and Ashrama. He is not about bhakti or the relationship a spirit soul has with God or with him. So he is not talked about relationship or demoniac with him. So here, mam atma para deshu, mam me, atma in their own para and in others, deshu bodies. So mam is I, atma para deshu is present in their hearts and in the hearts of others as super soul. So Lord Krishna, the supreme super soul, is present not only in pious pious personalities who after taking material body they are still worshipping him, but he is also present in other living entities, even in the demoniac he is present there as super soul. So pradvishanto abhyasukaha, pradvishanto, pradvishanta blaspheming, abhyasukaha envious, pradvishanto is there envious, they blaspheme out of envy. So here Lord Krishna comes to the point that their attitude toward him is very unfortunate, it is negative, it's completely misdirected. Envy may be inside, but blaspheme is when it comes out as verbal criticism. So unreasonable, irrational, insensitive, harsh linkage here, that is blaspheme. So what is the relevance of mentioning Mam Atma Pradeshu? In 5.29 shloka, Lord Krishna said that Suridam Sarva Sarve Bhutam Jyatva Mam Shantim Rakshyasi Rakshayasi. He is the well-wisher of all living beings. So he is present not only the ones who are favorable, who are worshipping him, but he is also present in those who are demoniac, in other living, every living being. He is well-wisher of all of them. So he is in the heart of all living beings. So in Shloka 15.15, Lord mentions, so I am the well-wisher of all, so I am even in the well-wisher of demoniac people, but they are envious of me, they blaspheme me, they are envious of me, who is the well-wisher of all living beings, including these demoniac. So Lord Krishna, being the super soul, he knows what is best for us, each one of us, what is best for us. So So Prabhu mentioned that this world is like a hospital, and at least we can do is to have a proper intention or behavior or be hospitable towards those doctors who are not hostile towards him. You know, we should act in a proper manner to those who is actually helping us, guiding us, who are our well wishers, and not have a hostile attitude towards well-wisher. So Pradvi Shanto Abhyasuka. These people are envious towards Lord Krishna. So they are demoniacs. So that is how it is. That is the nature, and there will be further detail to this in the next shlokas, in the next four shlokas. So especially, so I'd like to conclude here. So thank you, Prabhuji Matajis. Thanks for joining. Please join again tomorrow. Hare Krishna. So if anybody has any question, please let me know.